Sometimes you gotta go through this stuff sometimes. Before I started canning, I used to be a security guard. I remember all those afternoons when I came to work, all those people that was so nice to me. They would come with these real big bags of cans and fill up the machine and treat me to a coffee. I'm like, wait a minute, it should be the other way around. Once I lost my job, I said to myself, wait a minute, why don't I just start canning? This is where I store all my cans and bottles. This is my computer. And it becomes overwhelming for me. I can't keep recounting how many cans and bottles that I have. So what I do is I will like write it on the paper, and then I will just log it into the computer how many plastics I have. You know, when I go to redeem them, I have to have them in particular bags. That they want them cans with the cans, plastics with the plastics, the glass with the glass. This is something that you could be doing all day long, depending where you have them. Like, as you know, we're inside my house, so I have space. So I can organize them here downstairs where we at right now, and when I get ready to put them on my cart, you know, they already organized. So when I go to the redemption center, I just drop them off and they pay me my cash money. Yeah, this is normally good right here. People don't like people going through their garbage. Whether it's an honest living or not, some people are not you know, cool with that. They'll look at you with a real big frown. But you know, it is what it is. You know, people out here trying to make a living. Now over here, that's the bar over there. Right where it says West Indian American dishes. By 1 o'clock a.m., there's gonna be so many cans and bottles out there. It'll be for anybody to come get it. But you won't know that not unless you really be out here on a regular basis trying to improve your craft on what location, what restaurants, what blocks. You do this type of work, you're gonna need to take it serious and have a schedule, because that's very important to your survival. Over here, this block right here, this block, I was coming through one night and the police was just circling around me. They just kept on driving by. And I was really cautious, and I was like, these guys are gonna stop me, right? And one of the disadvantages is that, you know, like I said before, sometimes the police, they don't have nothing else to do, or they just be trying to make their quota. So I was coming down this block that we on right now, this same block. I was coming down, and like I said before, I had a schedule. I'm trying to make my schedule, because if I don't hit certain blocks at a certain time, I'll either have to compete with the garbage truck, and the garbage truck don't care. The garbage truck takes everything, and it don't leave nothing for the little guy like me to get. So meanwhile, the police is asking me all these questions about where I'm coming from. Somebody called up and said that someone of my description is going in, you know, people yards doing something. Police, that's one of the famous things. They always say, someone of your description. Well, it gotta be my description. But that's what they said, and they wanted ID. Now, I know, and I told the officer, I said, I don't have to give you ID, but I will give you the ID because I'm trying to work and I'm on a schedule, and I want this here experience to hurry up. So I gave him my ID. He said, well, you know, we needed the ID because we're doing a routine check for people who lives in the neighborhood. I'm like, oh boy, whatever, you know? And sometimes when you out here and you recycling, sometimes you come across stuff like this here. How to invest. Seems like a good book. I think I'll take this. Only wet babies like, yeah. Sometimes the thing that you find out here is like, you won't believe it. So now, after I was stopped, it was like, right where that gray car is, right there.
The gray car?
Yeah, right there. They was, you know, they made me take out my ID. They was going all through my card. And, you know, they was really irritating me. So, you know, that happens to a lot of cannons out here. You know, that's what the police do to make their quota sometimes, you know. And these are the disadvantages that goes along with, you know, my occupation. So I was upset, but after I was able to continue to work after a while, I couldn't afford to be upset any longer because I still had to work. But I had to play catch up because with the cop wasting my time like that, I was now behind schedule.
So how much behind?
I would say like almost a good 45 minutes to an hour, you know? Because you can't rush them. You're not going to rush New York City NYPD. You're not going to do that. I got a reward for training people on a street level interaction with the police. Police can be very intimidated because they got a gun on them, and people sometimes don't know what to do, what to say, and how to act. They got their hands moving. So I kind of like do teachings. And, you know, Community for Police Reform trained me, and they recognized me and gave me a certificate. That's me right there. CNN picked that up. I had the New York City's famous stop and frisk button on the side. I was pretty much charged up that day. I was really hyped. Someone was stopped and frisked, and then he was beaten up by the cops. And the lady was telling the story of her son because she didn't like what happened to her son. He was just going to the store, and the cops beat him up the way they did. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so what were you doing in it?
So we was pretty much there telling the cops at a certain precinct that we're not going to take it no more. We're going to fight back. And as you know, we fought back, and Mayor Bloomberg got a punch in the eye because the judge recently found that they was actually violating people that's affected by the stop and frisk civil rights. Sometimes, you know, people, if they see you coming and you got a cart like this here, when you got people and they see you coming with a cart, sometimes they'll just give you the bottle just to help you out, you know, like that brother right there. I meet so many people on a regular basis, and in such a time as this here, where people have been affected by the financial crisis, and communities are now coming back together. People are more like they willing to help each other. Sometimes you come through the blocks, people run into their house and give you like cans and bottles and stuff like that, you know. And it's just the love. I'm starting to see the love for your fellow human being. I don't care if you're orange, black, white, whatever. People just really starting to really care for the next man on their block or in their community. Now, with me being a regular security guard, you know, in the power structure here, you know, so what? You know, it seems like I found that people respects me more, you know, doing this than opposed from anything else. People say to me, you shouldn't feel bad what you do, you know. What you doing is an honest living, and you helping putting, you know, cans and bottles back into the system. Gene Rice, the picture of the homeless, call it, he likes for me to say that I'm a ecological engineer, which means putting cans and bottles back into the system.